everybody. Hope y'all have had a good weekend. Okay, so we're going to have a reading, a little bedtime reading tonight that is absolutely appropriate for any age. So you could absolutely put your toddler in front of this and they would go to sleep. But I think it's extremely special because I read this book to our boys, which they don't want to be named because we are apparently embarrassing them, right? We're embarrassing them. Whatever, they'll get over it. I'm not worried. But anyway, because they were obsessed with tractors, anything. Well, say, oldest one, you know who he is. Was obsessed with tractors and anything John Deere. And it just so happens he works with John Deere's right now. It's a full circle, people. And so this is like, we're getting ready for harvest. We're getting ready to start, hopefully, well, not with, what's her name? Sally out there brewing. But, so the next week we won't be harvesting. But, hopefully after that, maybe things will calm down, dry up, and we will be in the field. And we have, as you know, and I'm going to add it to this post as well, mini John Deere. We only have John Deere. We don't believe in the red things. I'm sorry if I offend you. But, was that a tune?
Nothing.
Was that a tune used? And Chris put on a shirt just for this reading. Anyway, we love y'all. And this is called Cornpicker Finds a Home. And it's a John Deere storybook for little folks. My heart. Y'all, these are hard to find. And I can't find my originals, so I bought these for y'all and for us, because, and for our grandkids one day, because it's going to be important. But anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Chris, who's going to read this, and I'm going to attach some pictures, because let me just say this. I like, and perhaps you know, perhaps you don't know, but it bugs the living stew out of every other person in our family. For me to name every for me to name every apparatus, every tractor, every attachment, every anything and everything, it's got to have a name, people, a human name. That's the way things roll in this household. So, okay, that said, I'm going to turn the phone around and Chris is going to read Cornpicker Finds a Home. And who's it written by, Chris? Just so we give them.
Lois Zortman Hobbs.
Lois.
Oh.
Lois. Lois. Zortman Hobbs. And it's illustrated by Roy A. Bostrom.
Mm-hmm.
Retired staffed artist from John Deere.
Yeah.
My heart. I love it.
Back in 1959.
Yes. Look, y'all, okay. I read this book out loud to my family the other day, and Chris got it teared up.
From
here we go.
1959.
So, okay. I don't know if they can see it. I hope so.
Well, you need to check and see. Jeez.
Hold on. Let me see if they can see. No, right there. Okay. Here we go.
Well, I kind of okay. Cornpicker and his friend Johnny Tractor sat side by side on the showroom floor. They were both shiny and new. They had become good friends as soon as they had arrived at the farm equipment store. I do hope we will be taken to the same farm so we can pick corn together, said Corny. Oh, Johnny Tractor replied, I hope so too, Corny. Cornelius was the cornpicker's real name, but Johnny nicknamed him Corny. Just as with people, they had a language all their own, and they talked together mostly when people weren't around. One crisp autumn day, when the corn was ripening, two farmers came to the store. Farmer Blue bought Corny, and the other farmer took Johnny Tractor away. Goodbye, Corny waved. Then they put him on a truck and drove away into the country. Looking over the huge cornfields, Corny said to himself, soon I'll be picking too. I'll do a good job for Farmer Blue. I'll pick all the corn and husk it clean. Suddenly, they were turned into Farmer Blue's farmyard. It was not a very tidy place. Corny's heart sank and he thought, this isn't so nice as I'd hoped. Just then, Farmer Blue dumped Corny off the truck. He fell with a bang, a bump, a crash, dinged all of his graceful snouts. Still, he said to himself, with my new paint, I look better than this other machinery. It's rusted and neglected.
Oh, Chris.
Next morning, Farmer Blue and his son mounted Corny on a sturdy old tractor. Corny could see it was a cousin of Johnny's. I'd like to make friends with this old tractor, thought Corny, but he seems so tired and discouraged. Farmer Blue doesn't take good care of him. They picked bright yellow corn day after day. Farmer Blue just didn't grease Corny at all, so Corny's joints and bearings became so dry they squeaked and squealed all the time. After another week, when Farmer Blue finished picking his corn, Corny was a sight. His joints squeaked louder than ever, and Farmer Blue scolded, I don't see why a new corn picker should squeal so. He pulled Corny into a patch of weeds and left him there.
Because you didn't take care of him.
When the winter snows came, Corny shivered in the cold day after day and often spoke through his chattering teeth. I hope that other farmers keep Johnny Tractor in a warm, dry machine shed. Johnny is my best friend. I wonder if I'll ever see him again. Then spring came and the long, hot summer, and Corny's elevator burned in the sun. He was very lonesome.
Blessing.
Autumn came and it was almost time to pick corn. Again, Farmer Blue sold his farm and moved to town. Another farmer looked at Corny and agreed to buy him. Corny's heart leaped for joy when he realized that this was the same farmer who had bought Johnny Tractor. Corny wanted to laugh out loud, for he might see Johnny again, and a tear dropped from his eye. Corny's new owner, Farmer Fowler, loaded him ever so gently onto a truck. Then they drove to a beautiful farm. Corny could scarcely wait to see if Johnny Tractor was there, but then he thought, no, I don't want my best friend to see me now. I'm so rusted and dented. Farmer Fowler unloaded Corny in the corner of a fine new implement shed. Corny could see the other machines even in the dim light, and far over at the other end was his friend, Johnny Tractor. Corny was so ashamed of his rusty snouts, he just couldn't speak.
His little snouts.
At last, Corny was dry and warm, but he didn't sleep that night at all. He kept wondering what would happen. Would he dare talk with Johnny? When the rising October sun shone through the window, Corny stretched up for a look at Johnny, and Johnny was grinning at Corny. Hey, Corny, Johnny shouted.
Hi, Corny.
It's you. Last night I thought it must be one of your older brothers. Oh, Johnny, Corny smiled, trying not to be embarrassed. I'm your friend, Corny, all right, but I've had a very bad time. Farmer Blue never greased me, and I've sat in a weed patch all winter and summer. Just then, Farmer Fowler and his son came in, their arms full of grease guns, paint sprayers, and tools. Corny's heart leaped in his throat again.
So sweet.
Quick as a wink, Farmer Fowler and his son went to work taking Corny apart, greasing his joints, putting on new parts, and painting him green and yellow. Johnny stood on his rear wheels and shouted, well, Corny, you're going to look brand new again, and you're going to live here with us where you will always be well cared for. Then Johnny began to sing, welcome, Cornpicker, to Farmer Fowler's green and yellow farm equipment family. Corny was so happy, big tears streaked in his bright new paint. All the other implements started to dance and sing. Johnny Tractor rolled himself close to Corny and whispered in his ear, I have a surprise. Farmer Fowler brought a field shelling attachment for you, and I'm going to pull you both through the big north field.
Oh.
Corny was happy when Farmer Fowler fastened on Shelly Sheller, the field shelling attachment. Shelly said to Corny and Johnny, "We'll make the best field shelling team that ever waded into a cornfield." Clancy Combine was nearby and heard him. "I've got a corn attachment too, you know, and I'm going to do custom harvesting in the big valley tomorrow. We'll just see who shells the most corn," he roared.
That's me.
Just then, a third voice sizzled from across the barnyard, and they all turned to see Davy Dryer sitting near the big granary. Farmer Fowler's boy was tuning up Davy's big burner so he'd be ready for harvest. "Just remember," Davy crackled, "you all use me to dry the wet corn you shell." "Oh, yes, Corny," Johnny, Shelly, and Clancy chorused. "We'll work together and make a fine corn harvest team." Ellie Elevator raised her head from behind Davy Dryer and squealed, "Me too, don't forget me." When evening came, Farmer Fowler drove Johnny, Corny, and Shelly into the shed for the night. Corny was so tired he folded his snouts together, closed his eyes, and was soon asleep, dreaming that he had at last found a fine home where he had lots of farm equipment friends who all worked together for a happy, successful farmer and his family. And the nice part of the dream was that it was true. Cornpicker would never be neglected or unhappy again. The end.
Oh my gosh, Chris. Does that not hit home a little bit? I mean, you know, we don't have Cornpicker because that has to attach to a tractor. So we don't have, that's older equipment, right?
Yes, from 1959.
But Conky, if you've ever heard me talk about Conky, and I'm sorry.
Excuse me.
Am I boring you? But Conky, I'm going to show pictures along with this video of Conky and Cornelius, the cornhead, as well as Cyrus, the tractor, and Brent, the grain cart. I name everything on this farm just to aggravate my family. However, it's precious, y'all. I mean, really, this is like a harvest book. I mean, really. And it's we want to be like the good farmer Fowler. The good farmer, is that him?
Yes.
Farmer Fowler, but sometimes we're like the first farmer. And we're embarrassed to say so because sometimes they just, after harvest, they get just put out there. But we're going to do better, you know, because Cornpicker Finds a Home has made us just want to make it better, right?
Sure.
And we are all John Deere. Sorry if you like red on you, but whatever. We are a John Deere family. And yes, one of our sons is, let's just say the equipment's waiting on him to come home and get them ready for the field. Okay, all right. This is a beautiful story. I love it. I've always loved it, and it's something you can let your kids listen to. You can cut us out if you want to, whatever. But anyway, it's a beautiful story. All right, y'all have a good night, and we will be back with you soon with God knows what. But anyway, have a good night. Bye. Say bye, Chris. Say bye.
Goodbye.
Say bye.
Don't do that. Bye.
Bye. Have a good night.
Goodbye.